Aloha, this is David, and today we're going to be covering condo complexes here on the island of Oahu, and I'm appropriately wearing my Kahala Aloha shirt designed by Dale Hope, good friend and mentor regarding Aloha shirts in Hawaii. He is the authority. But in any event, we're going to start off here at the Kahala Beach Apartments, which are direct oceanfront condos here in Kahala. And as a realtor, I've been asked more about this complex than any other condo projects on Oahu. And the reason why is these things are leasehold, meaning that you don't own the land beneath the building, and there's only 3 years left on the land lease, which is why they're so cheap. So Kamehameha Schools owns the land beneath these condos, as well as beneath the hotel, the Kahala Hotel, which is directly behind me. And they also own the land beneath Waialae Country Club, which is behind me in this direction. And for a little bit of trivia, the Kahala Beach Apartments, although it's called Kahala Beach Apartments, technically from an MLS standpoint, it falls under Waialae Golf Course. So it's the only condo complex that falls under Waialae Golf Course. And it's really sad because, you know, if these things were fee simple, they would be worth millions and millions of dollars a piece, you know, comparing to something down the Gold Coast. So our office is right down the road from here. Our house was right down the road from here. And I've had 20 plus years in the business to buy one of these. Is the reason why I haven't bought one is because this eminent land lease is going to be expiring in 3 years. So if that's not your cup of tea, if you don't want to throw down a chunk of money, and then once you do, the carrying costs on the 2 bedrooms are going to be like $4,500 a month for lease rent to Kamehameha Schools, property taxes, and maintenance fees. And then these direct oceanfront 3 bedrooms are going to run more like $8,000 to $10,000 a month after you pay cash because banks won't finance them. So that's the reason why they're so cheap, and they won't tell you that on Zillow, and they won't tell you that on Realtor.com. So if you're interested in other condos in Kahala, let's continue this tour here today because we're going to cover all the options, and the rest of them going forward should be fee simple. Okay, we just left the beach at Kahala. Now we're going to talk about Kahala Pacifica, which is directly inland from Kahala. It still has a Kahala name, but technically this falls under the neighborhood of Kalani Iki. Now, what's really cool about Kahala Pacifica is it is a gated community. The gate is open today. There must be a party as it's a weekend. However, I'll show an aerial shot of these here in a second. However, what's unique about these, technically we call them condos because technically they are, but they're kind of like detached single family homes. They're very spacious. They're 3 stories and they range from 2,000 to 3,000 square feet under roof. And they've got relatively affordable maintenance fees, which is really nice. And there's also a common area swimming pool if you drive up the street here and hook a right. That's one of the perks of the people that do live in Kahala Pacifica. So regarding pros and cons, the pros would obviously be the living area and square footage, to have, you know, something that's relatively easy to maintain right here in Kahala. You're just a stone's throw away to Kahala, and that's what's awesome about it. Also close to H1 and easy access to everything. However, the 2 potential downsides, in my opinion, are for those that don't want to do stairs. This is not a project for you because there's a lot of stairs. They're multi-level units. And the second thing is it's morning now, so we're getting some of the east sun coming. But what happens is these are butted up against the mountain here. So you are going to get some of the hotter afternoon sun hitting these homes in the afternoon with sunsets. I know this from a first-hand experience. My grandma used to have a place towards the very end here in the back. But once again, very spacious, good value for your money to be in Kahala, but the downsides would be the stairs and the hot afternoon sun. Stay tuned, and we're going to cover the next townhome project in Kahala, which will be Kahala View Estate. All right, well, we've just left Kahala Pacifica, which is directly behind me here, and adjacent to it, up against the hillside here, is going to be Kahala View Estate. Let me give you a perspective of the sign here. This is off Hi'ikala Place here in Waialae Valley, and what's nice about this one as well is it is a gated community. There's several levels similar to Kahala Pacifica. However, what's nice about this one, in addition to having a swimming pool, you also have a tennis court. So that's another perk of the amenities here at Kahala View Estate. And what's different about these compared to Kahala Pacifica is that they're going to have carports versus fully enclosed garages. So if you need an enclosed garage, maybe you're looking at Kahala Pacifica. If you're okay with a carport, what's nice about these, they're set back a little bit more in the valley, so they can be a little bit cooler, but you will still get some of that afternoon sun that comes off the ridge to the west here. So Kahala View Estate here in Kahala. And now we're gonna head back down the valley and we're gonna cover some of the townhomes as well as Kahala Towers. Okay, the next complex we're covering here is Waialae Gardens. What's very unique about this one, it's the only condo complex in Kahala that has both a mix of townhomes, like you can see behind me here, but out the back you also have a high-rise which consists of all one-bedroom condos. Now in these townhomes, this is going to be one of 3 projects we're going to cover today in Kahala. Waialae Gardens we're at now, but we're later going to cover Tropic Gardens and Tropicana Village. So here at Waialae Gardens, in all the 2 following properties, what you are going to notice as you come across these in MLS is the 2-story units here in the middle are 2-bedroom, 2-bath, roughly 1,000 square feet. And then these end units that are single level, they're roughly the same size, but it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom product. So take note of this architecture here at Waialae Gardens on these townhomes. And as we come to the other 2 projects, you'll notice they have the same architectural style. They just have different HOAs. And another thing about these is in general, they come with 1 covered parking stall. So if you're looking for 2 stalls, they're very rare that show up. So what most people revert to is street parking here. And then another thing is these will not come with covered stalls. So they're all in open lots. So if that's a deal killer for you, maybe you want to consider one of the high rises or something that does have covered parking. But it's a great affordable condo option here in Kahala. All right, well, we just covered Waialae Gardens across the street. And now if you come directly across the street, you have our second complex that's very similar to Waialae Gardens is Tropic Gardens. And as you see, there's a similar architectural style in that they have single level units on the end as well as 2-story units in the middle. And then out the back, that's gonna be their common area swimming pool. And here you got the same kind of architectural style here at Tropic Gardens. Now, for those of you that are shopping real estate online, what you might come across at some of these condo complexes such as Tropic Gardens and Waialae Gardens is once in a blue moon you see something that's really cheap or inexpensive, looks too good to be true. It's probably because it's leasehold. So these were all like Kahala Beach Apartments on land owned by Kamehameha schools. So I'd say north of 90% of these now are all fee simple. However, when you do come across those leasehold ones, I would take them with a grain of salt because the people that own the land interest now have really no interest in selling them. They just want to ride out the storm and take over the units. So let's stick to the fee simple ones, just a little bit of advice. And if you have any questions about Tropic Gardens, feel free to give me a call. And then what we'll do next is we're gonna cover the third kind of sister of these 3 projects, which is gonna be Tropicana Village. Okay, we're now just a little bit further down the road. We're just further up here on Hunakai Street in Kahala, and all 3 of these projects you can see from Hunakai Street. And you'll notice it starts to get a little bit noisy here as we start to get closer to H1 highway behind me here. However, what I want to point out here is Tropicana Village, and this is going to be the 3rd of the 3 sister condo complexes in Kahala. First we hit Waialae Gardens, then Tropic Gardens, now Tropicana Village. Similar architecture style. Once again, you've got the 2-story units in the middle with the 3 bedrooms on either end, both all around about 1,000 square feet. Typically 1 uncovered parking stall. Now we've got several condo complexes left. What you can see out the back there is going to be Kahala Towers, which is one of several high rises in Kahala. But we have one more townhome project we're going to hit before we cover Kahala Towers, which is right down the street here on Hunakai, and it's going to be called Kahala Gardens. Okay, this next one we're going to cover is Kahala Gardens, which is a sleeper of a little project. It's right across Hunakai Street. That's where we came from, near H1. And what's unique about these, they have a combo of 2-story and single level units that range anywhere between this 1250 address to 1220 address, which we're going to walk up to. So if you could bear with me as we walk along Hunakai Avenue, which is a main thoroughfare in Kahala. What's nice is directly across the street there you have the movie theaters in Kahala. And as we walk further up, this is all considered Kahala Gardens. And once again, we started this saying that this is a sleeper of a project. And the reason why is you almost never see these come on market. So unlike the 3 projects we covered across the street with Waialae Gardens, Tropic Gardens, and Tropicana Village, all 3 of those periodically throughout the year, you're gonna see available listings hit the market. And now here's another perspective. Kahala Gardens, very quaint, small project here in Kahala. Much smaller than the other 3, like I said. And then if you keep walking, it's the extent of it right back here. So like I said, the 1220 to 1256 address range will cover Kahala Gardens. And then next we're gonna cover Kahala Towers, which is behind me here. Okay, so directly behind me now we've got Kahala Towers. And as you can see, there are two towers, and hence we call it Kahala Towers. There's A and B, one is taller than the other. There you have a mix of 2 and 3 bedroom condos. And you're gonna have a mix of parking. Typically they'll come with one parking stall. Some will be covered, some will be uncovered. There's a nice swimming pool at the base right off Waialae Avenue here. And the building itself went through a lot of capital improvements recently, so the owners were coughing up a bunch of money to fix things that needed to get repaired. But now anyone that steps in now, it's a great convenient location. The only downside, which obviously you can't change, is it's right next to H1 highway, so that's why you hear that noise behind me here. It's not too bad right now. It is a Sunday, but those that live there, they will have nice views over Kahala towards the ocean, which is nice. And then come full circle, directly next to Kahala Towers there, you'll see Kahala Pacific behind that Kahala View Estate, which we covered earlier. Now we're gonna be on to the final condo complex we're gonna cover today, which is my favorite, having lived in the building before. This is Regency at Kahala, which is directly behind me, and we'll cover that one and then we'll wrap up our tour here of Kahala condos. Okay, here we are now at the final condo project here in Kahala, which is Regency at Kahala. This is the only one that has a true Kahala address for MLS. Most of the others are gonna fall under either Waialae Golf Course, like Kahala Beach Apartments, or they're gonna fall under Kalani Iki, which are gonna be the condos back behind me there. So Kahala Regency here, right adjacent to Kahala Mall, is gonna be the only condo project in Kahala that's technically within the neighborhood of Kahala from MLS standpoint. However, with that said, we refer to all of these as Kahala condos that we're covering today. And I hope you enjoyed our segment here on Kahala condos. Our office is right across the street here, right above Subway. And if you need any real estate looking for condos or homes here in Kahala, feel free to reach out and give us a shout. Mahalo.